Hi there, it's Pam Brosman here from the Social Marketing Channel, and it is my great pleasure to have with me Yanik Silver. He's one of the most highly respected internet marketers online. He's been online for a while. He's very well known for the Maverick Adventures as well as the Underground series that sell out every year, and we're going to be talking about that on the call. And he also has the Internet Lifestyle. Welcome, Yanik. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Pam. Good to be here.
You're well. Now, listen, Yanik, can you tell us? There's a few people here who may in Australia who may not know your background. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started online and how long you've been online?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we're celebrating my 10th year online. I didn't even have an email account until late '99, which I thought was really late, but I guess looking back is semi-early. And I just saw a bunch of people that were doing some interesting things online, and it looked like all they did was stuck up a sales letter, and I'm like, I can do that, and I bet I could probably figure out the rest of it. And so I literally woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with this idea for a site called Instant Sales Letters, and I tapped my wife on the shoulder. I'm like, Miss, wake up! I got this great idea. And she's like, oh God, please just go back to bed. And I jumped out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and literally registered a domain name. Got to work on it that night, I guess, or that morning. And within a month and a half, we launched it, and they're just little sales letter templates because I knew how to do that. And we did $1,800 the first month, and then about $9,400 or $9,600 the fourth month. And this is all out of like a little one-bedroom apartment, and it sounds like a commercial. So we're on track to do 6 figures with a product that was totally digital, and people would just come to the site, download it, pay us with their credit card, and from that, people start asking me how the hell did you do this, and what did you do, and can you help me do something similar? And so I started down this other path of teaching people how to take their passion and their expertise and what they're excited about and sell it online as content. And kind of really long story short, since that point, we've gone on to sell millions of dollars each year online.
Actually, no, that's great because I had no idea about that part of the story. And how long did it take for your wife to think, wow, this is a good thing?
Well, she thought it was a good thing right away, and it was actually interesting because she was working in the corporate world, working for Honeywell, and within about a year, maybe it's even less, like maybe 8 months, she got laid off. And I'm like, oh, why don't you just come work with me? And so we were literally in the one-bedroom apartment. She was working in the bedroom. I was out in the living room.
Fantastic. That sounds kind of like my lifestyle here, but I know over there it's a bit cold and it's a beautiful sunny day here in Sydney, so I just had to throw that in. It's good.
Yeah. I have this idea that Missy hasn't fully bought into that, when it's cold here, obviously the southern hemisphere, it's beautiful, that we should go spend 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, down in Australia or New Zealand. So I loved it when I was there a couple years ago.
Oh, that's great. Well, I've been talking to Carrie Wilkerson, who is a big fan of yours, and she's keen to come over here. So maybe I'll have to organise a family seminar where the family gets to come as well, and you can all come over here. Now, let me ask you, Yanik, the internet's changed quite a bit. Where do you see changes happening in 2010? Is there any tips that you can sort of give us internet marketers?
I live my life the way that I live it according to my values, which are part of our company values, and so I feel like I don't have anything to hide, and so that transparency I think is a big deal, and it's coming up more than ever, not just Twitter, but obviously blogging, which has been around for a while. A site called Yelp, Yelp.com, which is really interesting to see the massive growth that they've had, which is just reviews of service businesses and restaurants and different things like that. Obviously Facebook, but everybody, the consumer definitely has a big voice now. It's not just simply us being able to only communicate one way and put our PR spin on the way that we want things. It's definitely a two-way conversation, and people and companies need to be aware of that and be ready for it. The other big thing that I see is market saturation, lots of competition, lots of noise out there because of the fact that it is kind of easy to get going and start something up. And so there's a lot of people that are kind of muddying the waters, I guess. And in order to stand out and be exceptional, there's you gotta deliver tremendous value. I mean, one of my core values, I guess, or one of the key things that has kind of made me financially free is I always think about this question is, I get rich by enriching others 10 times, 100 times what they pay me in return. And so I always ask that question whenever we're putting out a product, whatever we're doing, is this going to be, or even better, how can I make this 10 times to 100 times what people are willing to pay? And so I think by being an extreme value provider, I mean, that's always been the case, but I think even more so now, I think people's attention spans are going to be limited with what they're willing to consume, because it's not, even with cable TV, we used to have 200 channels, which was a big step up from, the 4 main channels here in the U.S.
Mm.
Now there's literally millions of channels for me as soon as I turn on my computer. So you have to have tremendous value to give people. And this other thing that I've really been working on lately is something called astonishment architecture, where I try and think about and map out every single customer touch point and think of ways that we can exceed customers' expectations before, during, hopefully, and after sale. And so things like that, I think, are really going to drive what's coming up in this new economy.